Been a while, but welcome to the eMpTy podcast. Myself, Mr. Wileycat DJ, and to my left we have
Sirelli, ever so broken with a drink in his hand.
No more slightly broken.
Not slightly.
With a drink in his hand.
Okay.
Ever so broken with a drink. I'm done.
Okay. And to my right we have
Rain, Nelson, Dare.
But you're not going to challenge him.
But he does this all the
and
time.
next to him we have
City of Citrus.
I mean, everyone's
going on it.
Then, yeah.
Oh,
What
wow,
is going
the back was singing it.
Yeah.
And next to him we have
You done know Tongo, innit?
Buddy's on the bunch.
Russell said he's backwards there, yeah?
He's thinking. Buddy on the bunch.
I don't even know what the slogan is anymore right now. Like, right, I bet I'll read it to me.
and last but not least we have
One love.
Building, buddy. Truth. There you go. Good.
Oh man, it's been a couple of weeks we ain't been here, but we're back, and we're gonna jump right into it. And what we're gonna jump into?
Oh, the Roundup.
The Roundup.
Hasn't happened in ages.
Here we go.
I've got a few, but I'm gonna go through them quickly. Balon d'Or winner.
Oof.
Any issues with that? Was it fair? Should somebody else have got it?
Do you want me to comment straight away?
Go on.
Do you know what it is?
Who won first?
Dembele won it.
Yeah.
He won it because his team won everything, and that says you deserve something if your team wins everything. They won the French league, he won the French Cup, they won the Champions League. I mean, you deserve it from there. All right, from that point, and he got loads of goals. It wasn't even like his goals tally was just average. His goals tally was high, so he did deserve it on that basis. I think the controversy around some of it is basically what's it based off of and how did these votes get made? So is it based off of who's the best player in the world? Because right now...
No, it's not. There's two categories. One is best individual performance. Two is best team performance.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they take the score from one and score from the other, add it together,
Legit.
and whoever gets the highest wins.
Okay. But it just felt like... So some people were saying, well, why wasn't Salah in the top three? Which I believe he should have been in the top three. Britishness did have a great season though, but I would say that. But he should have been in the top three. And outside of that, the best player on the planet right now, if I was to say who I think is the best player, is probably Lamine Yamal. That's what I would personally say. But Dembele definitely deserved it.
Citrus. Any comment?
No, I think it was right.
All right, cool.
My only issue was Virgil van Dijk was 28th, and for the season he had, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
He was underneath Declan Rice. That was embarrassing.
Tongo, Sirelli. I know you're not really a football man like that, but I don't know if you don't even care.
Pass.
All right, cool. Yesterday, actually, what's the date today? Is it 25th or 24th?
25th.
25th. Does anyone know what was supposed to happen on the 23rd of September?
No.
Is that the girl supposed to buy the man a trainer's day or something?
No. Oh, I did not.
Raw.
Man said the girl was supposed to buy the man them a trainer.
And Rain don't know.
The 23rd of September was supposed to be the Rapture. So for the religious people, Rapture is end of days. God coming from the sky, chariots. So there was an African pastor,
Oh, yeah.
I believe he was from Nigeria, who said this. The people then went wild. They was out in the streets, in forests, waiting for the Rapture to come, like waiting. And then it didn't happen.
That's madness.
Well,
It's not the first time, though.
It's not, but it's just... I don't know
Nostradamus,
when the Rapture will come, you know what I mean? I don't know if we're overly religious and we believe it's going to happen anytime soon. But are we... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Is it people follow religion that blindly that anyone can say anything and then it goes viral and then they're out there waiting for X?
Yes.
Would you guys follow that?
No.
Because we're all religious, right?
Yeah.
No.
I think the one thing you have to pick up on that, Rain, is
Go ahead.
religion is based on faith. And faith is one of those things that's built up without necessarily evidence. It's just something you believe in and you believe in to the full extent. So short answer is yes.
I mean, see, the finest thing is that one part I do disagree with. I don't believe in religion, all right, but I have faith. So I do believe in God. So I 100% believe in God. That I do believe in. But I don't believe in religion. Religion is man-made. So when you've now got a pastor saying this is going to happen and then it doesn't, there's my case in point. It's a religion. I don't believe in your religion and what you lot say. I believe in God. There is definitely a higher power. There is definitely a God. but I just don't believe in the things
The
that
people
are put
that
out.
say there is a higher power.
But I also do believe, just to put it out there, I do believe there is a position for religion because it has an element of control which is important in life.
Right.
I'm in the same position as him, you know.
What?
Yeah, I'm in the same position as him.
1
as
minute.
in-
1 minute.
yeah, seriously, as in, I believe in religion, but I believe in God, sorry, but I don't necessarily prescribe to any religion. I think religions are divisive and they cause too much controversy, too much fighting with people. I believe there's a God, but I don't follow any particular religion.
That's what I think. I believe in God, or a higher power, should I say. I don't even know if I believe in God per se. More, there's a higher power that is outside of us.
Aliens.
Pardon?
Don't get me started. I'm gonna
Aliens.
move swiftly on and see if you can see the link. Right. So Sadiq Khan was interviewed the other day, and he was asked about jollof rice, and he said they asked him which is better, Nigerian
Or Ghanaian.
or Ghanaian. So there is one question. There's first question, which is better, Nigerian or Ghanaian? His actual answer was
Jamaican.
English or British.
There you go. Ask these two. I feel
Can you see the link? Sorry. Jollof rice. What's your thoughts? Have you had Nigerian? You have actually. We went to a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you've had Ghanaian, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
who's winning?
Are you holding it down because Wiley's here?
No, I couldn't care less.
Political. Political.
Gambian.
So I wasn't impressed when you went to Ghana.
No, I was really impressed. I was very impressed.
I mean, I knew your reactions when we went to the Nigerian restaurant as well. So that gives me
Yeah,
my
but that's a
answer.
Nigerian restaurant. Hey.
So it gives me my answer, innit?
Two more. Anyone see the situation with Noel Clarke?
Yes.
Yes.
So he's lost his case and he now has to pay £3 million to, is it the Independent?
The Guardian.
The Guardian, sorry. He lost his libel case against the Guardian and now has to pay in one instalment, I believe. Not
Within 28 days.
$3
No.
million.
Within 28 days.
Has he got that bread?
Of course he
No.
has.
He definitely has.
Of course he has.
definitely has. But no one can. £3 million is a lot of
There's
money.
a lot of money.
I think he's worth a lot more. But I don't know if
No more.
if he's paying that then enables him to get back to normality of earning money. I think he's probably blacklisted. Like I don't think anyone's going to want to work with. Well, definitely in the UK anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just mad how they put out whatever they put out. He's tried to defend himself. I think the case was dropped, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was
In
no
regards
case.
to, I think, to the
he didn't
charges
have
in
any
regards to the
criminal cases,
females,
yeah.
I think it was dropped.
Yeah.
But reading on the case, what the judge has said in the case is that the Guardian's report of the case and the scenarios in the case were factual. So therefore, what he's arguing with them against can't stand.
£3 million. But anyway, yeah. So he's a little bit worse for wear. He put out a post and basically said, keep calm and carry on, like he's going to do his thing, which is probably the right way to do it. You don't want to get slapped with another case, you know what I mean? Finally, from me, all British adults are required or will be, or under proposals, will be issued with a digital ID. What's our thoughts on that? This is a proposal coming forward from the Labour Party, Keir Starmer.
To be announced tomorrow.
A government-issued digital ID with a view that if you don't have this going to work, it's a bit of a slipstream in regards to stopping the boats and all of that kind of stuff. A slipstream to try and prevent illegal immigration with that. If you haven't got that, you can't work. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm voting Conservative next time of elections.
That's wild.
Bruv, I'm done with Labour. Labour are wild.
I don't have a problem with it. The only thing is, as with everything, there's a criminal element to it, and there'll be people making massive money for fake digital cards and whatnot. So,
like driver's license.
Yeah, it's not really a fix. It's just a plaster over a wound that's this big, and the plaster's this big.
I remember in the 80s, they wanted to bring in a national ID card and everyone kicked off. And they've been threatening this for years. They've been threatening trying to bring something like this in. And everything has been voluntary to the point now where it's now becoming compulsory. I'm not for it. This is all about control. And we've got to be very mindful of when we give up our civil liberties and we have no rights. We'll have no rights. We'll be happy for the little rights we have, which should be our real rights. Nah, it's not on.
So to be fair, this is something that It's going to happen. It doesn't matter if it's this year, next year, 5 years. It's going to happen. With
It's
technology.
going to happen.
The way technology is now, it's only a matter of time before everything has, quote unquote, a serial number on it. Your child's going to be at birth, instead of you getting a birth certificate, you're going to get a serial number. It's going to happen.
We talk.
They're already allocated their national insurance number from birth anyway.
Yeah, but that's for employment. I'm talking the ID card will have everything on it. It will be connected to your credit rating. It will be connected to your employment. You know what I mean? Your nationalization. It will be connected to everything. And that's inevitable.
Sorry, buddy, you were about to say something.
Last comment, and then we move on.
No, go on, you can move on. It's fine.
Sirelli, over to you. The rain roundup is finished.
It's over to
Wiley, sorry.
To Wiley.
Over to me. It's meant to be over to both of us, but over to me. Oh, it's all right. We've been away for about 3 weeks. A lot has happened in 3 weeks, but one of the biggest things that's happened in that 3 weeks has been the issue, and we touched on it on the last podcast. We was talking about the issue about the flags and how people were fighting about the rights of the flags and what the flags meant to people. Obviously, a lot has happened since then. We've had some people reporting that there was 150,000 people. Some are reporting that there was 250,000 people marching to unite the kingdom. So the question for this week, as a provider for it, is what does the Union Jack mean to black people? So just going around all of us, I'll start off with, I'm gonna pick on Tongo as the first person. What does the Union Jack mean to you?
Just the flag of the country I live in. Doesn't really, it seems to hold weight at certain parts around the world for its previous accomplishments, but I think to the black community in this country, I don't think it means anything.
Sorry,
most people that are black, I feel, more conform or relate to their quote unquote home country or countries, even if they've got no formal base there or property there or civility there or citizenship or anything.
Can I ask you a question, and feel free to tell me you're not comfortable answering it? Would you be comfortable to let us know if you're born in the UK or if you're born in a different country?
I was born in the UK.
Okay. And as you mentioned a while ago about a lot of people feel more comfortable repping their country of heritage. For you who were born here and your family comes from the Caribbean or South America or wherever it was, how would you compare the two of them? What, to you, you go raving. In most raves, soca raves, Caribbean raves, people rep their flags. Would you ever consider going into a fete with the Union Jack and a flag from your country of heritage? And if not, why not?
So, strangely, when we used to go places like Berlin, I would wear like a Union Jack t-shirt, but it would be like more of a comic, not like we are England, but it's just like, I don't know, like a graphic of it. But the flags in my hands would still be Jamaica and Guyana.
I mean, I think...
But that's because I was going to Berlin, if that makes sense. But if you used to ask me here, or nowadays, I would never do that again. Not because I've got an affliction to the Union Jack, just that I just don't feel it. I was doing that to rep England because the England man them were over in Berlin. That was why. Does that make sense?
So you're repping more like a gang than the country?
No, not gang.
Gang
not a gang because everyone was doing it.
Okay. Buddy, because
no, I mean,
about to say something.
Just to help him out a little bit, it was like, it's a bit unfair when, like, I suppose if you're going to carnival, for example, you're repping your flags of the countries. It's about repping where you're from, like whether you're from Africa or if you're from the Caribbean or what part of the Caribbean you're from. It was about repping your flag that way. I don't see or envision anybody turning and saying, let's rep England at that point. Even the white people, they wouldn't, or other races that go to there, they wouldn't now be saying, let me throw my English flag around, because it's not about that, if that makes sense. So when he said what he said when he goes to Berlin and other places, we're now leaving the country, and yeah, we're English, so we're going to sit there and say, look, we're English, but we're also from this parts of the Caribbean, or Africa, or wherever he's trying to represent, and that's what I was going to back him up on.
So what would the Union Jack mean to you then?
To me, I mean, I don't follow flags like that, as of such. When you're saying, like, what does it mean to me? It doesn't mean anything to me, to be fair. I mean, I'm born here and grown up here, and to be fair, I probably wouldn't live anywhere else in the world. I like living in England. I think to myself, this is my home, innit? All right, so I wouldn't say it means anything to me as such like that. I'm not passionate about it. It's not. I mean, the one country that comes to mind straight away that's very passionate about their flag would be America. I mean, they're just like the flag, the flag, the flag. England has never really been that as of such. I mean, maybe towards the national anthem is something that they stand proud of, but not to say the flag. I've not really seen much about the flag, to be fair.
I don't think I necessarily agree with you when you say that they don't represent the flag here as much as the US. I think they do. I think maybe you being cocooned in London, because London is very multicultural and there's different people, races and creeds and cultures, that it's not as widely done. But I would say once you leave the security or the safety net of the M25, I think once you go outside of London into those, I don't want to say rural areas, but those towns and counties, I think it's like, and especially this summer when I did a lot of driving, now we know that obviously this year in particular it's been heightened, but you still see a lot of the flags on a lot of businesses, in people's windows. I mean, I encountered it a lot, and I didn't necessarily realize how much it was out there until obviously this situation happened with the riots, and then you start to pay more attention. It's like when you buy a car, you know, you buy a car and you don't see it anywhere. As soon as you buy it, you're like, rah, I didn't realize my car was so popular.
Can I ask you a question? I want to base it quickly around the room, just a yes or no. Does anyone in the room own a flag? An English flag, should I say?
No.
Didn't think so.
No.
Have anyone in the room ever had an English flag?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. So you two have then, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so what reason did you purchase the English flag?
I bought it to give to my nan, if I'm honest.
So you still ain't got one. So guys, so you out.
I don't actually remember. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember why I purchased it. I think it was something to do with the kids and school and something like that. And
So
then
it was just basically for a school project.
Like it was marching.
yes, it was me in the hat and the flipping glasses. Yeah,
So
it
it's a
was
school project.
a school project, or they were celebrating a day or something like that, and then it
But so
became.
outside that, you never thought of putting it up in your window or celebrating it in any type
To be
of way?
fair, I haven't put up St. Lucian. I've never put up my St. Lucian flag in the window.
But you've got one though.
I've got one, yeah.
And how many of those have you ever bought? Don't have to get an exact number, but plenty, I'm guessing, right?
No, maybe a handful.
So yeah, a few of them. So you've bought the I mean, I don't necessarily have I've purchased a Jamaican flag before.
What?
Like-
What?
No.
You ain't Jamaican? What? You ain't Jamaican?
No, but I've purchased a Jamaican flag before. I've never purchased an English flag. Just never have. And that wasn't for a project, it was just because.
Because you wanted to make yourself feel Jamaican.
No, I mean, we're not going to go down this
No,
road.
but I'm saying, what else
that's
were
I'm actually not going down this road where you're trying to take me. But
were you supporting them in a
No.
athletics? Or
no,
not?
because that's my heritage. That's where my background's from. So my point is, I could go around the room again. You've probably bought a Nigerian one. You've probably bought a Jamaican one. You've probably bought a St. Lucian one. I know it's and you've bought a Ghanaian one and
Ghanaian.
Guyanese one and a Jamaican one, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there you go. So we would all represent our heritage, I suppose, as a way we would buy those flags, but we're not buying obviously the ones that where we live.
Just to close off on it though, Citrus, what does a Union Jack mean to you?
To me, there is no. I think it represents sovereignty, which I appreciate, but I don't have any affiliation with it. The point that Buddy made regarding when you talk about the US flag versus the British flag, he's 100% right. Sirelli's wrong. In every class, no,
It's true.
in almost every classroom in America, you will see United States flag, and they all
Recite.
recite the national anthem
they all know
in
it.
front of their flag. They'll put their hand across their chest towards the flag just to
Swear
show
allegiance to the
swear
flag.
allegiance,
That's what they do.
and they do all of that. Right now, if I said to you, give me the fourth line in the UK national anthem, how many of you could do it?
Eternal. No, that's just.
So when it comes down to it, it's not necessarily celebrated. However, controversially, on the other side of the coin, with the I suppose we're going to come onto this in a sec. But what I think the flag means for British people is I think it should definitely be rallied around. I definitely think that I don't agree with this, what's it called, immigration rhetoric. That's just a cloud used to try and mystify the, you know what I mean, the target. But the idea about all celebrating under one, I think is great. I think it's a very good idea. However, if that's then used for malicious purposes, then you put yourself back in a problem. And it doesn't help that the world is now tilting towards the right. Do you get what I mean? Yep. So then therefore you weaponize the flag and it goes in whatever direction they want it to go in. But I'm interested. I know there's some more bits coming up, so I'm going to hold back.
Rain. Very long. I'm gonna skip me and then go to Kim.
I'll be quick. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing to me. As much as I was born here, my parents are Jamaican, and I was taught about the struggles that they went through. So the struggles that they went through, I directly attribute to the United Kingdom. Now, I'm not saying that the struggles that they went through are indicative of everyone who is of, well, how do I even put it? Everyone that was here at the time that they was here, but there were some people that made their life hard, like chasing them down the streets, calling them the N-word, even though I hate to say the N-word, but I know it saves you from having to beep it out. So it means nothing to me. I don't care for it. If Great Britain are in the Olympics, I don't care.
Sorry, no. This is the thing. When you said that, there is one part when it comes to sport, for some reason, when I'm watching the Olympics, I don't care what the sport is, I always check to see where the...
I mean, don't get twisted. I'll look for Jamaica, but I'm looking for England as well.
Where's the British guy? Do you know, like cycling? Yeah. I'm like, yo, are you up there? I'm like, cool. Swimming, where are you, man?
Don't know none of their names.
Don't know none of them.
English.
Adam P.
Yeah,
I'm the opposite. I just don't care. Like, to the point...
When they celebrate the medals table, you don't like
look at our small English country that we live in, all right, is backing it against the big.
So my exact retort to that is the small country that my parents are from, look how they are doing in this medal table.
I look for them as well.
No, I know, but your point was that it's the Great Britain flag, you look for it in, I don't care.
So you don't regard yourself as English or British?
I have to be, because I'm born here.
Right, so
I have dual nationality.
Wouldn't you not support your other, like your other half, basically?
I'm more in tune. Maybe this is where it comes to. I'm more in tuned to the Jamaican side of my heritage, because when I was born, I was born and raised in a Jamaican household. My dad taught me the national anthem. He taught me the coat of arms. He told me what the colours of the flag stand for. He told me about the fruits. He told me his thing was, what you're going to be when you're older, and I've failed miserably, is you're going to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica. That's what he was imparting into me. There was no affinity for England. That it's a place where he came, and he will eventually, my mum and dad will go back to Jamaica and whatever, and they've done their job because they've raised children and got them to a plateau where they can earn for themselves. If I want to stay here, it's up to me. But I don't have no affinity for the flag. It means nothing to me.
And you see, the funniest thing is, and I'm sorry guys, because I'll start taking over the podcast, but something you just said kind of triggered me a little bit. So you say, like, do you feel that you could go back to Jamaica
easily,
and
easily.
you can find and
easily,
you fit say easily. Like I give the joke. The joke is on the truth of the matter is, we go home now, all right, you're English. That English boy. That's what you're getting called straight up.
But it's
not even an if.
But it's not. So yes, you're right. But it's not a term of disrespect.
It's not, but it's also a case of, I've been there and it's been a case of, you're not, like I would say, I'm a Jamaican. I'll sit there and say to them, I'm a Jamaican. I'll even put an accent and all sorts. I'm a Jamaican. I'm one of you lot.
You don't do that.
No, but even if I did it, I'm saying, I'm one of you lot. I'm Jamaican. Yeah. They'll turn and say to me, no, you're not. You are English. And I get it.
Because
I'm born there and I've grown up there and that's my home.
Or the majority of your life you have been in England. So
you don't know Jamaica.
But then you could argue and you could show them your knowledge of Jamaica.
But knowing knowledge, I can read it from a history book. There'll be a white boy or an Asian boy. They'll be able to sit there and say to me, "Look, did you know?" And I'm like, "Oh,
but then,
because you've read a book."
Yeah, no,
so?
but no.
You ain't lived it.
But it's certain things about living in Jamaica. Is, are you able to take a taxi? Do you know that it stops in Port Maria before it goes to St Mary? Do you know that it goes to Islington, Highbury? Do you know it goes to, I don't know, Port Maria? It's those kind of things that make it to have the affinity. You can read it, but can you catch the taxi?
I agree with Buddy. I think that as much as we may feel associated with our mother country, because we've been here so long, this is not who we are. Yeah. We can go there and try our best to integrate, merge, and contribute.
And fake our way into the society.
Essentially, if you get ill, you'll be coming back because of NHS. If you get what I mean? There's certain things you'll be like, you know what, British again. Let me go back and get my diabetes.
We are going to do. You remember the fourth line? I'm telling you, we are going to do the nationalisation one very soon. There's a lot to cover on that, and believe me, we've had it before. We're going to go over it again. There's a lot to cover onto that. But I'm intrigued to know people's views on the flag, because for me, the United Kingdom flag, it means for me colonialism. And the reason why it means colonialism for me is because of how they colonized Nigeria, where my parents are from. And because I've seen the impact it's had on that country, for me, and I don't say anyone else should have the same sort of view, but for me, I attribute that to that flag. And it's different to England. England for me is different to the United Kingdom flag. The flag of St. George is different. There is a difference in there, but we'll get to that at some stage.
No, I need you to kind of point out what you're coming with when you say that.
So
that's important.
And I don't want to go, because we're going to go into that later on as well. If I'm going, this is before all of the marches and stuff was happening. When I used to go to places like Watford or go to Enfield and I'd see a British flag, I'd feel a bit of trepidation. A United Kingdom flag, I'd feel that. If I saw an English flag though...
Why is that?
Because the areas where I saw those flags on, or those areas where the flags were, had a history of National Front, of BNP, of those sorts of environments. And the things of those times was the United Kingdom flag, as opposed to the flag of St. George.
So what's so I think the biggest question of what I suppose we want to get off to the audience is, what's the difference? Because you're saying it, I believe I know what the difference is, but if you know the difference, like...
For me, we're going to get into it, but for me, I think the United Kingdom flag has been weaponized, but we're going to get into...
But you're talking
more than the St. George's flag?
I believe more than St. George's.
Ooh.
I believe more than St. George's, because everything, if you look at it, everything really links back to like the British Army, those sorts of things. So when we're talking about the troubles that was happening in Ireland, it weren't the flag of St. George, it was the United Kingdom flag.
Yeah, but Ireland's not a part of the...
No, but what I'm talking about is when they were having the IRA, or the troubles as they call it, it wasn't the flag of St. George you were seeing, it was the British flag. When they were going and colonising places, it wasn't the flag of St. George you were seeing.
Because they wasn't at war with England, they wasn't at war with Britain. It's two different things.
But
Britain is England, Scotland, and Wales
and Northern Ireland.
Yeah. All right. But when you're doing the St. George flag, you're talking about England. That's England.
And that's why I'm saying, for me, when I look at that flag, what I attribute it to is different to the flag of St. George. Funny enough, the flag of St. George, when I see it, I think of the England football team. I don't think of anything much more than the England football team.
Didn't colonialism and imperialism happen under St. George's flag?
Yes.
Probably so. But when I look at the history of Nigeria particularly, it's the United Kingdom flag that was around the place. That's what the British, it was Britain. It was I'll have to go into the history of some of the people that was there, but the lords and the people that was the James Roberts, James Roberts and all those people were people from Britain, not from England. But last but not least, what does the flag mean to you, Sirelli?
The funny thing is, when you say that, I agree with you, but it's almost on the other side. So when I see the Union Jack with all the different, parts of the UK on it, for me, that represents togetherness. It represents a collective, and by some means and some ways, it's managed to work. When I see the St. George's flag, I feel like it's isolated, it's pulled apart, it's showing, especially as now they've weaponized it and they're putting it on roundabouts and they're doing it on buildings. And then that, as you said, going to certain areas, if I saw, you know, the Union Jack, I wouldn't feel away. However, if I saw the St. George's flag,
I'd feel away.
I'd feel away. I would, you know, be more alert. You'd still go, but you're paying more attention. So it's funny that, but for me, it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm. Which, funny enough, Sirelli made a point when we was talking about this earlier that I wanted to touch on to, and I think he made a really valid point about it, which is that the flag itself, it's been put into such a way where it's been weaponized, but should you not be proud to put up your flag in your own country?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. This thing where the councils are now taking them down, and it's become a almost like an obscene sight, I think is wrong. I think that flag, could you imagine going to St. Lucia and telling the Lucians to pull down their flag?
You just stated the reason of why they would do it.
I understand that, but even if that is the reason, you still do not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Why? But
because it's the flag of the country.
No, but you've just stated, not anybody else. Like, so you and have just said why they would do it. Like, you've made the point, and it coming from. Trying to take this coming from a black person, all right, or of ethnic origin, saying it, you've now stated the reason of why they would do it, and then on the next sentence you've just said, I don't think they should do it. 1 second, they're doing it because of people like yourselves, like us, all right, that are sitting there saying stuff. Well, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not going to go up the road because they got bare flags up there, and I don't know if they're going to be racist towards me. You know what we're going to do as a government? We're going to take them down. And then you've turned and said, I think you should put them up. 1 second, dickhead. You just said that.
So what do you think? What do you think that's going to do? What do you think that's going to do to people who do not have that sentiment of anything to do with racism? How is that going to make them feel? Where I'm at home and you're telling me I can't put up my own flag? Because think of the big picture. You're saying about the government should take it down. Rain is a proud British person. He's living his life. Everything's fine. He hasn't got a problem. He's got his flag. His grandma's got all the Queen's memorabilias and whatnot. While he's the mayor and now says, the council, you know what? You live in Wimbledon. In Wimbledon, you cannot put up your flag no more. All of a sudden, he's now got an issue, not with Wiley, but with all the people that have now made that a problem. And for him, the first target is all the foreigners. Bro, because of you lot, I can't put up my British flag now.
You're what's wrong with society then, bro, because they're doing something to please you and you're now sitting there saying, no, hold on a second, don't please me. He's trying to... They're trying
I'm on the side of rights.
They're trying to correct something for the people because they realise to themselves it's causing harm to others. So if they put up something, let them put up the NF signs back again. Why not?
No,
it's their right to do it. No, but they want to do it. But I'm saying to you, 1 second. Well, let me finish what I'm saying. All right, I'm saying to you, you're saying to them they should be allowed to do it because they're allowed to do what they want to do. That makes them feel comfortable. That's what they want to do. They're sitting there saying to you, look, at the end of the day, all right, it's causing offence to somebody. All right, so at the end of the day, if it's causing offence to you, let's take them down. And then you're going to turn and say, well, they should have freedom to do what they're doing. Which one do you want? Which side of the fence are you sitting on? So yeah, I did go extreme with the statement, right? But what I'm trying to say to you is, I'm trying to say to you, you can't have it one way and the other. It has to be one way. And clearly they've turned and said, look, don't put up no flags. Done. It's finished. The end of conversation. It's the fairest way to deal with it.
It's not the fairest way. It is not, because you're now fueling a system. If you have a narrative and you let people come and give their 2 pence and then you start to flip-flop and change the narrative just because of a few people, you've lost control. The Union Jack is the flag of the country. It should be able to be flown wherever and whenever it needs to be flown. The fact that a few people have decided to use it for whatever reason they are, that's down to them. Your aim is to push them out and to overpower it and make it be seen as the same way Citra said, when he's watching athletics, he sees the flag up there, he's looking for it. That's how you unite people. You don't say, oh, you know what, because a few people have decided to do this with it, I'm going to take it out of the picture. You can't do that. That doesn't make sense.
Tongo, you were going to say something.
I think what's really trying to say is that you can't let the mindset of the minority affect the majority. You've got to let the majority rule, because they're being ignorant effectively by saying it is for the real British people, and we need to get the foreigners out and the immigrant and all this stuff that agenda they're trying to push. If you let that take over by saying, all right, because they've said pushing this hate, using this to push hate, we're now cancelling it. All the people that are not ignorant, that are not against immigration or thinking get these foreigners out or trying to weaponize it or riot down West End or whatever, they now feel hard done by it, and therefore, well, I've got as much rights as these fascists or these haters, so why should they get their wish rather than me?
So like stated before, really, only 2 minutes ago, you sat there and said, this is how it makes me feel, and now
I
you're
would,
sitting there saying,
and I also said I would still go down there.
Yeah, but
I said, listen, I'm not blind to what's happening. It was on the news. It's everywhere.
I think you lot are getting this wrong. I think you're looking at it the wrong way. I'm more aligned with you, Bud, but I think you're going too extreme. So what it is, this is the country, innit? And if it's the flag of the country, every single resident has the right to put the flag up.
Yeah.
That's it. Full stop. The difference is, because the flag wasn't celebrated, it's not tradition, it's not part of the culture to celebrate the flag. Now,
For
the
us.
flag,
no, in general,
it's not celebrated. Now, the flag
it's being weaponized.
is being used as a tool to galvanize
the hate.
those that are already on side, cool. Those that are on the fence, we're now going to be, we're British, we're proud, here you go. And then those that are not sure what's going on are like, boy, I don't know if I should go down there. So as much as you said you'd walk down the road if you saw a flag, there are vulnerable people, there are individuals, there are young people who are like, boy, I don't even want to go home that way because every lamppost has got a flag on it. So when that big white van man is staring at me, do you know what I mean? I don't know if he wants to kill me or if he's asking me for the time. So I'm nervous. So because it isn't celebrated and then it's going to be reclaimed for a rhetoric that leans to the right wing, then I do understand it. However, a different conversation, and I don't want to take this too far away,
go for it.
is would you allow your kids to wear a rainbow tracksuit?
Rainbow tracksuit?
Yeah.
No. I'm not on it. I mean, it's happened, but I'm not on it. I don't like it.
No?
I think it's,
It's happened. What?
not on my watch.
What do you mean's happened?
Obviously not my kid.
What's happened, sorry? No, we just said we're in a rainbow tracksuit, like a tracksuit that had multiple colours, and I weren't on it. I said, nah, I
didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Tongo?
No issue.
No issue.
Don't think I've got an issue.
No issue at all.
I ain't got an issue.
Me, I don't mind. However, someone bought my youngest some trainers that had the rainbow colours on it, and a comment was made.
What?
That why would you let him wear those? So I said to him, and he was 2 at the time, I said, name the colours.
Yeah.
So he was pointing them, name the colours.
Yellow, pink, blue,
and I was
orange.
like, do you like it? He said, yeah. So I said, there's your answer.
There you go.
Do you get what I mean?
Thumbs up, yeah.
So it's that. However,
I know where you're
the
going
same,
with this.
the same connotation that Buddy's now saying, well, I'm not really sure about my child wearing it. It's the same connotation we're saying someone's not going to be sure to walk down that road. And then there's the others who are going to say, what do you mean?
It's
you
just
live on
a
the
flag.
road, walk down the road. It's just a flag.
Just to give light on what he said. So I've got like a top that's got like a smiley face and it's got the rainbow colours on there. And I'm like, yeah, I can wear it.
I want to say, is it a belly top? I don't know why.
You're a dickhead.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
I was thinking more boob tube.
All right.
I can wear it because I'm obviously I'm of age. I can talk for myself, and obviously I know I'm straight. Whatever else not. And I felt to myself, putting it on a child or say about 10, 11, 12, that type of age group, and you're wearing it, it causes confusion and it causes problems. It might even cause problems within his own peers, because like Citrus has said, it's like the flags, the that's weaponized now. That's now, you see someone in a rainbow colour. If one of you lot walked through here with rainbow colours, I'm looking at you like, are you guys okay? Like, are you got something to tell us? And it's like no, but that's
says the guy with the rainbow top.
No, but that's how it feels. No, but that's what I'm saying to you. That's how it feels, isn't it? It's that type of thought. And I think at a younger age, it's more of a problem that you're gonna cause for the child. So I'd say to myself, do you know what? Why would you put your child in that situation rather than take away from it? At the younger age, like you said, 2, you're a baby. No, you can wear whatever you want to wear. Like. But as you get to a certain age, it's like maybe you need to kind of stay clear of it, and that was just my thought process at the time.
So the connotations of what it would mean is what's affecting your. So in terms of that, then, when we were seeing the march, and we were seeing a lot of black people there, dressed in the regalia of the hat, the flag, everything,
sunglasses, tie.
What was your take on that?
Which one? Sorry.
So in
I understand.
The march, when the march was happening, there was lots of black people there. Yeah, first and foremost. So there was people getting a lot of kickback because people was asking why was there a lot of black people there.
Because what the march stood for.
But as far as they're concerned, it's uniting the kingdom. They're uniting the kingdom.
Wasn't what it was for.
Nothing. That's as far as they was looking at it. Then when people was also there with the Union Jack hats, suits, shirts, whatever, they are getting a lot of kickback from that. But what the same way you're talking about the connotations of the rainbows, is there any connotation to be taken from them being dressed like that or being in the march?
You know what it is? There isn't. Your original question was, what was my thought?
Yeah.
Jay-Z's got a song called Story of OJ, yeah? And the first line of it says, I'm not black, I'm OJ. It says, okay.
Yeah.
My thing was, you're down there, okay. Like, if you're trying to blend in, you're trying to blend in. If you are what some people would say, being a coconut and you're down there, okay, you might actually just like the country that you're living in. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this is where we use the word weaponized, but let's just simplify it a bit more, is that you have got the extreme far right who have taken the flag and they say, we want our jobs. They're taking all of our jobs. They're coming over on small boats and they're doing this. I can't get a doctor's appointment. And then you've got people who are genuinely just happy to be a part of the United Kingdom. And they went down there to show pride for the country that they're living in with their flag. Now, again, in Jamaica, when you go to Jamaica, the Jamaica flag's everywhere. You go to St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad, Nigeria, Ghana, the flag's everywhere. Try and tell those countries not to have a march about being proud of your country. What's going to happen? Uproar. So I get it. But your original point about the black people down there with the regalia on, okay, do your thing.
No, it was for a lot of people, how it came across. And I suppose it's perception, it's social media, it's things like that, right? It's, what was the march for? Was the march to say, I'm proud of being British, or was the march for the far right? And that's where, I suppose, when you're now going to say, it's for the far right, what are you doing there?
And
you know what I mean? I don't need
to... Is the other issue behind
That's the issue. Your organizer, we believe, was Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
So when you've got him involved, attached to anything, it automatically becomes racist.
Yeah.
Now, there's some people that are like, I'm not down there for racism. I'm there to... and they might go down there to say, right, Tommy Robinson, what you're doing is bad, but I'm going down there to show that not everyone supports you, but I'm still proud of my country.
If I'm not mistaken, there was the far right people and there was people that was opposing that. Like there was, I remember there was a scene. There was a scene where like there was police in the middle trying to stop those trying to cross into those because they were trying to avoid fights and such.
So the number. Sorry, go on.
I think it depends on your motivation for being down there. And unfortunately, depending on where you get your news intake and your media intake from is what narrative you're going to be sent. If you're not a person that's in more modern era, more modern technology and hype of social media, you're not really going to know about the rhetoric of the right wing. You're just going to be like, oh, everyone's down there for Britain. I'm British. I love it. But at the same time, if you're very much in the know of all the rhetorics, you're going to realise a lot of people are here for the right wing and the wrong reason. So you being down there, regardless what you think you're down there for, people looking outside externally at you are going to think you're there for the right wing people too.
I think one thing that you touched on, which is quite true, a lot of the people that were there are actually grateful that they're in the UK. And they're grateful that there was a Nigerian guy, and he's grateful for what the UK has given him, coming from the environment he was in. He's come to the UK. We don't know too much about him, but what he says about himself is basically he's been educated, he's been able to have a job, he's been able to provide for his family, and he loves the NHS and what's been offered to him. So you have to take that on board when somebody says that. So I know for my grandparents, the UK was a means to an end. And you have to understand, for most of our grandparents who came here, or great-grandparents,
Even my parents.
they came here
To go back
with a
home.
promise of a better life.
Really?
Now,
So even, sorry to cut you, but even as you said that, it just triggered something in my mind. Up until maybe 8 years ago, when Mum's place got redecorated, she still has a photo of Prince Charles and Princess Diana
My aunt had
at
that in her
their,
house.
at their
yeah.
wedding.
Yes.
I don't know if she bought it at the seaside or what, but it was still just on the mantelpiece.
In the wrapper.
Yeah. Just there.
They love the royal family.
Just their pose up.
Yeah.
And even like in St. Lucia, in certain households, when you go in there, you see they'll have picture of the Queen,
when they came to St. Lucia to visit,
or
the schools,
or whatever it is, yeah. So on the back of the point that you just sorry, for those that are watching, we do apologise. There are little fruit flies flying around, so it looks like we got Tourette's, but it's not that. They're just fruit flies messing around. But yeah, so as you said, I was just thinking about it when you mentioned that. I was like, do you know what? I remember walking in and just seeing these little, you know what I mean, picture of the Queen and whatever else. And when the Queen's speech was on, it was imperative in my household anyway, at Christmas, that it was on the TV.
3 o'clock.
We didn't necessarily have to sit there and watch it, but my mum would make a point of, oh, the Queen's speech is on, let's watch it. And it was like, okay. And 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, however long it was, I was just like, yeah, can you go back and put on Masters of the Universe? Because that's what I'm really interested in. Do you get what I mean? So I definitely think there was a Britishness of, like I'm talking about our parents' generation and potentially the generation before them, if your parents are second generation. There's definitely that. However, that's been lost. I think that's been lost. And I actually think the country itself dropped the ball. It
Explain
wasn't,
what you mean by that. How did he drop the ball?
because I don't think Britishness is celebrated in schools. I don't think...
Similar to, sorry to cut you, similar to what you said earlier on
About America?
About America.
Okay.
So in America, they know the national anthem. That they sit there and recite it. They have to do that before in the morning when they go in or whatever at the time they have to do it. They sit there and they do it, so everybody knows it. So even the thickest of people will know the whole national anthem. Wow. No, I'm saying the most stupid person in the classroom.
I don't understand what you're saying, but I won't comment.
No, but everyone will know the national anthem.
What was it? Who can I think? Hulk Hogan's celebration song, innit?
Born
I'm
in the
just
USA.
gonna be
American.
American. I was even singing that, you know what I mean? I'm 8 and I'm watching, you know what I mean, WrestleMania 2 or something, and I'm singing along. Yeah, I'm singing along to that. Now I want to be American. Do you get what I mean?
Everyone wanted to be American at one point, watching all the American programs.
Yeah, you never ever heard me saying I want to be the British guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we were just Bond villain. Do you know what I mean? Villains in American, do you know what I mean? Action movies and them kind of things. So it was never celebrated
the way
to be
see,
British.
The thing is, I disagree with you there. And the reason why I say that is because things that we are interested in, we find out about. So if there's a fete going on, you ask the general public.
But he made the point that it was
let me finish.
across the board, right?
Let me finish. So in the UK, they celebrate St. David's Day, 1st of March. Has any of us ever been involved or even knew it was? No, because we're not interested in it.
What does he do?
The St. Patrick's Day.
Who celebrates it?
Hold on.
No, bro, you can't. You can't.
The UK.
You can't put things out and then just say,
UK
I'm going to move on.
Celebrates it. Great Britain celebrates it.
Where?
When?
I just said on the 1st of March.
Right. Where?
I don't know where, because I'm not, as like I just said, my point is, it's not something that I'm interested in. So because of that, I don't go in.
I just want to know who he is.
No, but wait. He's making a point, but he's supposed to elaborate on your
St.
point.
David is the patron saint of Wales, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So
Remembrance Day.
everyone's got their own
Yeah, they
saints,
do
haven't
Remembrance
they? Yeah.
Day.
So the point
We all get poppies and stuff. Go on.
St. Andrew's Day, November the 30th. So there
Scotland.
are.
So that's the Scottish thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Pedro
Go on.
said Scotland.
So we wouldn't do that because we're not in Scotland. We're in England. I don't
But I
understand.
think from
I
what
just said
from
the
how
Union Jack, bruv.
Jack. He's talking about the Union
Yeah,
Jack.
but we're in England. So the Scottish people do it. The Irish people do St. Patrick's Day. We're in
They
England.
do it in London. They do it in
The
England
Americans
too.
do St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
The
I
British do St. Patrick's Day.
But
Do you get what I mean?
English do St. Patrick's Day as
But
well, buddy.
you're missing the point, my brother. You live in the United Kingdom. So if something happens in the United Kingdom, it is in the whole of the United Kingdom. The fact that you're not interested in it, it's your prerogative.
No,
that's
wrong.
you know what?
It's
That's
wrong.
what I'm trying to say to you.
wrong.
You're saying about St.
wrong.
David's Day. How much is that? Do I see it on TV? Is there an
No.
event for it? Is there a show for it? Is there a part that we're supposed to go to? Is there a party for it? Is there
Celebration.
celebration?
There is a celebration for it.
So
Directing
when?
traffic.
When was the last one? Because we don't see it. So if you're not going to put it in front of my face to see, how can you say it? Because you know the funniest thing is, when we was younger, you're right. I do kind of remember St. David's Day and St. Andrew's Day and St. Patrick's
Do you
Day.
remember St. Patrick's
them.
Day?
I remember them, but they're not celebrated. The Irish celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
This
that
year-
we know about.
This year, St. Patrick's Day was celebrated across the country. I remember on the day going out and seeing people, it was like
Green was everywhere.
it was like a carnival
Guinness
across the
hats.
country.
But that's
Yeah.
what. But
that's 'cause they celebrate it.
But why? Because if you ask a normal person, what did St. Patrick do? Does anybody know?
No, Rain. I'm not
Drinking
disputing that, but I'm saying it's still being celebrated.
Yeah, I know. But,
Even go on.
So to say that it's not being done, it is being done.
yeah, but celebrated under the guise of, you mentioned St. Patrick's Day. There is the
But that's the only one. When does St. Andrew's Day get celebrated?
there's the causal link to Guinness because
Yeah,
Ireland have a product
Even
to
Nigeria
sell.
celebrates St. Patrick's Day because of
Because
it's the patron saint of Nigeria.
But people don't actually know what St. Patrick did. Now, St. Patrick, he was famous for chasing the snakes out of Ireland. Did anyone know that? Exactly. And I heard that from an Irish person. I was thinking, what?
Jason, what island?
Snakes. So I'm like, what snakes? Like, how many snakes was there really? Like, what are you really celebrating the street for? No, but it's true. But then, in we go to talk about so England, not United Kingdom. England their saint is St. George.
St. George, yeah.
What does he do?
Now, here's the thing. The point I wanted to make, because I want to come to Citrus straight after, was more to the point of what Kim's saying. When it was St. George's Day, what events did we all see? And have we ever been participants in
But
those
that's
events?
Citrus's point. We're not celebrating it, so how would we know? If St. Patrick's Day is celebrated, all right, so we know about it. All right, St. George isn't celebrated
But
like
St.
that,
George
so
is the
we
patron
don't
saint
know
of this country.
But we don't do it.
St. George's
England
Day
don't do it.
is
That's why you
celebrated.
say-
Business, we don't business.
We
Come on,
don't-
let's-
you're missing
St. George's
Citrus's whole point.
Day is celebrated, but it's not celebrated nationally, as in a big national event.
There's no drink attached to it, so we don't business.
There are
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
There are
It's- we don't
pockets
business.
Yep.
of celebration for it, and on that day, I do see a lot of the England flags around and people wearing them
you know
and repping them. Wait, hold on. And repping them, etc. It's not on the scale of St. Patrick's Day, even though we're in England. I feel like they celebrate St. Patrick's Day bigger than they do St. George's Day, but I've definitely seen celebrations. And the only time I've taken part in it was when I was in school, primary school for that matter. And I think the only time I've taken part in these...
In the 70s, yeah?
I was in school in the 70s, bro.
Go on.
Where I've taken part in St. George's Day or St. Patrick's Day or St. Andrew's Day or those sort
The
of
Queen's
things.
birthday.
So the point I was trying to make, though, is to agree with what Citrus was saying. The reason why we don't talk about St. George's Day is because Englishness, so if you want to use that term, is not celebrated like Americans celebrate Americans and
Yes.
their Americanness, so to speak.
Why?
But that's the thing.
Why?
So to go back to Citrus, because I'm sure you would like to touch on to St. George's Day.
So the point Buddy and I was making is really can reel off all of the patron saints from everywhere. If it's not a national holiday, then we don't care. St. Patrick's Day is a national holiday in Ireland. St. David's Day is not a national holiday in England.
They got a day off in Ireland.
Of course. Yeah. Do you ever see an
Paganism.
Irishman saying, do you know what, I'm going to go work on St. Patrick's Day? No, they're going pub and the pub is jam. The whole roadside's locked off. Street parties, all sorts. And so much so that, and there's one other thing, that Trafalgar Square on St. Patrick's Day gets locked down. the whole of Trafalgar Square is closed down because it's celebrated. So if you, as a person that likes St. Patrick and want to go and join the Irish to celebrate, you can go to Trafalgar Square and there's a little bashment going on there.
Mm-hmm.
There are roads locked off. There are pubs completely dedicated to it, and it's fully celebrated. Not only here, but as I said, also in America. Widely celebrated because they have a migrant Irish community. Widely celebrated. St. George's Day, I couldn't tell you the date.
He said March the 1st. I mean,
No, that was St. David's Day, he said.
That was St. David's Day.
I don't know.
St. George's Day, I couldn't tell you the date. And do we have a day off for it? No.
23rd of April.
Is it a bank holiday? No. Do you know what I mean? Like, what happens on St. George's? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you because it's not celebrated. And this is the difference. So, coming back to the original point, I believe these things should be celebrated because if you're going to turn around and pay allegiance to your country, you should know what your country is based on and why. So when Sirelli says like about these other things are celebrated, I'm like, cool, it might be in a little county all the way down there, but if it's not a national celebration where there's something going on all over the place, so it can be advertised and marketed to everyone else, then you can feel more affiliated to the Brits or to the English or whatever the case is. When the royal wedding took place, Britishness was celebrated. Do you know what I mean? The whole of Pall Mall, whatever else, was like, everyone was like, right, let's watch the wedding. But now, who else is there to get married? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing. So what more Britishness can be celebrated there? And then the royal family go and drop the ball and doing all of this Epstein arms house and whatever else. So even more so now we're detaching away from the sovereignty and whatever else. So to say that this is going on, celebrate Britishness, and if you want, you can. Cool. So you can celebrate, I mean, wearing 2 left trainers if you want. But because it's not advertised to me, I don't go to that event.
So I agree with you. In regards to celebration, there isn't enough of an effort made. So Commonwealth Day, which is the second Monday in March, I didn't know.
We're born in the Commonwealth. Everyone wants to get out of it.
No. You see, the thing is, you're looking at it now, but once upon a time,
that was highly celebrated.
It was highly celebrated, and it was it was accepted greatly because it did do a lot for a lot of the Commonwealth countries.
The Commonwealth, you say it was once a time. I don't know when it was celebrated.
There's a Commonwealth
I know Commonwealth Games. Yes, I was going to say.
No, you have to remember the countries that were part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
we watched
A lot of our countries were.
It's like we watched
Most of the Caribbean
Games.
was.
Yeah,
most of Africa was.
To celebrate, I don't know if anyone celebrated it. I can't remember it being celebrated ever. The Commonwealth Day.
In the Caribbean, it was celebrated. I was in St. Lucia when it was being celebrated.
Do you know, it's likely it's before our. Remember, we're talking about a time when people were proud to be affiliated to Britain. So that meant that our grandparents, so to speak, maybe not necessarily our parents, our grandparents would have been in that generation of they were being proud or whatever it was to be associated to Britain.
Our parents would have likely have been, because if the grandparents were, they would have.
But the funny thing is, as time's gone by, people have dissociated or detached themselves. And one thing I must agree with is what Citrus said about the fact that it's not presented enough. So I went to school in the Caribbean for a period of time, and every morning we would sing the national anthem. It was part of assembly. Sorry, not every morning. Every Monday and Friday we'd do assembly, and you had to sing it. You had to know the motto of the country. You had to know part of the curriculum was learning about the island. The motto, the national birds, the anthem, all 4 verses.
Raw.
So it was part of your life.
That's a fail, bro.
I forgot a verse.
Yeah. The last verse, nobody knows. By that time, you're tired. And everybody had to know. And here, it's not done now for, equal opportunity or human rights and all these kind of reasons is why it's not being done. But as somebody who's lived in Britain for most of his life and who owns a British passport, I believe it should be. I believe people should know. You don't know the national anthem. You know half of it. You don't know none. You should know something that it's like your home. It's not like your home. It is your home. So you need to know what's going on in your home. And the fact that you don't know or you're not part of it means that things can happen in your home and you're not aware about it.
I like the way you put that you had a British passport, but fine.
There is one
was part of the Commonwealth, bro.
There's one point that you made that I do like, and you are right. You should know about it. However, to get a British passport and to go through the nationalisation test, I can almost guarantee
That's in there.
all of us would fail it.
I probably agree.
Because some of the questions are like, where is the 18th cathedral? And this is on the multiple choice, and you need to know this. You need to be able to.
Didn't know there was 18 of them.
You need to be able to answer these types of. You need to be able to answer these types of questions. You know, one question I remember years ago was on a one of them little quiz books, and it said, where does the Queen, or at the time it was the Queen, where does the Queen go for Christmas, and where does she go for her summer holidays?
Sandra.
And I was like,
Balmoral for Christmas, I think. I don't know about.
see, look, all of a sudden you lot are just.
No, we know he's right. Balmoral for Christmas and then Sandringham
for New Year's.
I got that for the crown though.
I forgot-
Crown
I
expert.
forgot.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about you and this crown thing.
Did you not hear him say he's got a rainbow t-shirt?
Wait, don't
But
hate.
the point is, if these things are not celebrated and not shared and not understood, then how are you meant to know? However, in the nationalisation test, these are the questions. If you go for your indefinite leave to remain, these are the questions that they ask.
Well, I was just looking at the questions. So one question is, what is the Union Jack?
To say all the.
But I know the answer,
countries,
but I bet you lot don't know.
Oh, then
Is
now I
it
don't.
not
It's the flag of the United Kingdom.
Of the flags of every
Scotland,
country,
yeah.
bar,
That's
no?
what I would have gone with. But because he
not.
said that,
The
I said I don't know
the
it.
Union Jack is the flag that is supposed to be used at sea. So the Union flag is what you see everywhere. The Union Jack is what's used actually at sea. That's one of the nationalisation
Is
questions.
it one of them is upside down or something?
No,
No.
it can't be. It's Union Jack.
Yes, it doesn't work both ways.
No,
No.
there's something about
Do you
how
know
the
what,
flag.
Wiley, are you in this country, bro?
No, he's
I'm
right.
Nigerian.
He's right.
There's
He's
something
right.
about how the flag is flown.
Yeah,
It's
he's right.
flown a certain way for a particular reason. I can't remember what the reason is though.
You're talking about masting. So if it's half mast,
I'll be honest with you, I'm
There
not
is
going to say
something
like I
about
know.
upside down
I
and
remember
the
there's
right way up. I
something
don't know what
about
it
how
means,
it's
but there is
flown.
Yeah, but
It's
you
flown
do
a
realise it's
certain
the
way
same
for a
both ways,
reason.
though, right?
I don't know. I genuinely don't
Or
know.
the English flag.
Yeah, it's not.
The English flag maybe, no, but I don't know about the Union Jack. There's something about the Union
If
Jack.
you actually know the British flag properly, you'll know that there's certain, like the white parts are
this is
wider
right. Yep,
and narrower,
that's right.
and which
100% right.
determines which way it's supposed to be up.
Yes.
So it's not the same. Right,
This is
upside down.
There is
I'm wrong,
something
I'm wrong.
about the flag, and I
That is
can't remember what
right.
it is. Yeah,
That is
there's
right.
something about the flag.
is St Helena a part of the UK?
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It is. It's their football team then.
St Helens. That's in
Yeah,
Manchester.
just,
to be fair. No,
you're
Liverpool,
right.
sorry.
Because I thought, I'd answer them questions. I'm looking for it.
No.
No, we're not. We're
Tongo's
not.
absolutely right in regards to
Well,
the
the-
flag
the-
being able to be
uneven.
flown upside down.
That's fair enough.
The red part that's in the diagonal bits are at the top, and then when you rotate it, obviously it goes down to the bottom. And the ones at the bottom are a little bit thicker than the ones on the. So he's absolutely right.
Okay.
No, don't talk about it.
There's a reason. I can't remember what the reason is, but there is a reason why they do fly it a certain way. I just can't remember what it is. What I wanted to find out. So we're all parents, grandparents, even. If your child now wanted to be a sports person, or let me just say a sports person, or wanted to be a political figure, would you rather they were doing that as a British person over here? Or let me just say England, because we're all in England. Or would you rather they were doing it from the country of your heritage? And why?
John Obi Mikel did an interview.
Yep.
Talking about.
John Obi Mikel used to play for Chelsea. Nigerian footballer.
He did an interview a couple of years ago talking about Nigerian players that play in the UK. Players with Nigerian heritage. That play football in the
Probably talk
UK.
about Saka.
So Saka is one, for example. And he said the issue that they've got is when they are under 13s, under 14s, under 15s, they can play wherever they like. However, from adulthood, they have to pick their country. And even though they were eligible to play for Nigeria, a lot of these players would wait to see if they got an England call-up.
Yeah.
And because they were waiting and waiting for the England call-up, and one person that springs to mind is Iwobi,
Yeah, about
who used to play for Arsenal, now plays for Fulham. Iwobi waited for his...
He never
He never what?
waited for England. He didn't wait for England.
He didn't play for Nigeria straight away.
He went straight for Nigeria. Yeah, he did.
No,
One you
he
should have
didn't.
used is probably Zaha.
He didn't.
But anyway,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Zaha would have been
I know, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Go on.
so just for the sake of the argument,
Yeah.
it's to say that there are players who are eligible to play for Nigeria, waited for the England call up, never got the call up. Now they're age 25, realised we're definitely not going to get the call up. Yo, Nigeria, do you lot still want me to come and play for you? And at that point, he's saying that Nigeria should just say no,
Knock them off.
because you should have picked your country from
the bull.
from the
the get-go.
first opportunity. But so many don't, and because of that, when you look at the French national team, the Belgium national team, the British or English national team, you've got many of these black players that are representing these colonial countries rather than their
See, the only problem I
parental
have with
countries or
that,
countries of birth.
and this is probably leading on to his question a bit, is that
Wait, and then you've got the Boateng brothers.
Yes,
with one place for
Germany and
Germany
Ghana.
and one place for Ghana, but they're brothers. So
what's funny is, similar to what we've been talking about in the beginning, if I'm born here, all right, should I not now play for my country? So if Saka is born here, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an Arsenal fan.
I believe he is born here.
So if he's born here and he's now saying, well, I want to play for England, is that now not a choice that he can make because this is the country of this is his home? Do you know what I mean? Does he have to go for his heritage? Now, it's funny because when you said about the sports, it's weird, and I've said this, I think, on the podcast before, that if I was an athlete, I want to run for Jamaica. If I'm a footballer, I'm playing football for England. Like, it's just the way, because
that's interesting.
England as a in
You
football,
wouldn't get into either team, to be fair.
But you joke. So ultimately, you want to run for the fastest nation, which is ultimately Jamaica at the time you're talking
You
about.
want to go if you've got the best chance of winning for.
Would you actually qualify to run there? You probably better off going for England.
You're right, but commercially, if I'm a good runner, commercially, running for Jamaica works. I can do that. All right. Commercially, playing football for Jamaica doesn't work. All right. Fact. Like you got Leon Bailey, who was a great footballer. He could have gone somewhere. He decided to choose Jamaica. He is Jamaican.
But did he choose Jamaica because he knew? Okay, forget Leon Bailey, but think of other people that have got
Sterling.
Yes.
Sterling's the best one to use.
Yes, exactly. Would his career? Well, would he have benefited from playing for Jamaica?
No.
So that's why he chose England.
It was a business decision.
You're going to choose what's
for the brand
likely to give you the better success.
If my son says to me right now, I want to be a footballer, and he becomes a footballer, I want him to play for England. If he turns and says to me he's an athlete and he's a runner, I want you to run for Jamaica.
But then there's the thing of you've got, like, right now, if my son was 21 and he says he wants to play for, he's got a choice of England and Jamaica. We know realistically, because if he might be great, Jamaica is the option. He will play 90 minutes over there.
So you would let him give up England?
He might not even get into the squad. He might not even the squad. He might not even go to St. George's Park.
Do you know the funniest thing is, commercially it still works. You know, so Mason Greenwood. All right, Mason Greenwood now plays for Jamaica.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
He got into Jamaica.
No. Incorrect. It's incorrect. He applied for a Jamaican passport and then said,
pretty sure he's played for Jamaica.
I'm telling you, he doesn't. He applied for a Jamaica passport, and then everyone thought he was gonna, because that came out. They thought he was gonna apply for, he was gonna play for the Jamaica team. He then came out and said, I don't want to play for the Jamaica team. I don't want to do it.
That's right.
And then because he said that, the man was saying, take back the passport. What did you get it for? But he can get a Jamaica passport.
Ravel Morrison is another one.
Wan-Bissaka is your best example because he's played for England. He's now playing for, I believe, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's now playing for, I believe, Congo.
Right.
Zaha played for England, and then he went to go to play for Ivory Coast. It's like I would personally, and Zaha played. I think he played at least one game or something like for England. It was a friendly, and then afterwards, now he said, like, no, it's not. I'm not getting in. Let me go off to my homeland. And that's fine. And that would be the same path that I would tend to take for myself, and I would advise my children or whatever else not. So this is what I'm saying to you. As an athlete, I would go to Jamaica. As a footballer, it's commercial. It makes sense money wise.
You're just going to do what's more likely to give you the chance of success. Simple.
No, I don't know about that.
You're just going to do what's going to give you the best chance of success.
But as a footballer now, trying to get into the England squad is insanely difficult.
You have to be real, like, out of this world good.
You have to be playing. Well, we know, like, you got to be playing for whoever. Now, to get into the Jamaica athletics team is impossible. you are so down. Your times have to speak for themselves. And even if you do have the times, you've got to go through champs, which is the Jamaica, whatever, for colleges and all that. Then you've got to go through national trials. It's not like, it's not that, I can do...
conclusion.
Unless you're saying, on record with the Guinness Book of Records, I've just run 921. Talk to me, Jamaica. Unless you're doing that, you're not getting in. It's not that easy.
See, me personally, when I was little, my mindset was England. And then I think I got a bit more of a... You know what it was that really got me? Was when England played Cameroon in the 90 World Cup. And my dad, he was so supporting Cameroon. I was like, why are you supporting we're Nigerian? But I could see the African pride, if that makes sense. Because when I was looking at England and looking at how it was, I would always see John Barnes getting dogs abuse whenever he played poor, but I'd never see it for anyone else. But when I was watching Cameroon in that World Cup, strangely enough, even though I wasn't Cameroonian, it gave me a sense of, you know what, I feel more pride watching them. And my attachment to being Nigerian, I don't want to say it came from there, but I got more of a
realization.
More of a pride. And then growing up, more and more, I started to get that affinity. So if I would want my child to choose Nigeria, whether they would do that in this day and age, I don't believe they would.
Can I mean, not being disrespectful.
No, go on.
Or anything, but
I was going to say something disrespectful.
He's body the truth.
But your child ain't choosing Nigeria. I'm telling you this for a fact.
Listen. Like, you know what it is. You know what it comes down to. No
disrespect. Zayn he ain't choosing Jamaica.
I disagree.
He ain't choosing Jamaica. He ain't choosing it.
I'm not sure.
I disagree.
These ones ain't choosing. They're not choosing St. Lucia.
I disagree. In my situation, that would probably be the case because I'm not with a Nigerian partner. But if my child was given the same upbringing of a Nigerian household, Nigerian Yoruba in the house, it's everything, the culture,
Right. Yes,
they're going to choose what their culture
100%.
is.
You know, it's 100% about
yeah.
the culture. And again, we're kind of swaying away a little bit, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right. Even down to languages being learned in households are lessened nowadays. Now, the funniest things for a lot of Africans, I'm trying to work out what generation would you be? You second?
I would be my mum and dad were the first generation. I'm now the second generation.
So you're the second. So
I'm first born here.
So what would we be? Just out of curiosity.
I think you're 2 generations or so above us.
I'm the same.
On mine.
We're the same as
The Windrush generation was people's grandparents, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So then after
no,
that,
is it? It's not.
No?
It wasn't your mum and dad.
So I'm third
my mum
generation.
came over here, but as my grandma was
I'm
the next
third
one.
generation. My mum was born here.
Yeah, so my parents weren't born here. My parents were born in Nigeria.
My parents were born in Jamaica.
My mum was born in Jamaica. My dad was born over here.
Right.
My parents were born in their respective countries, so is the generation, second generation about where you was born, or
So you'll be first generation.
where?
here.
He can't be. He has to be second because his parents
weren't born here.
Oh.
He'd be first generation.
Yeah,
here.
you'd be first
Yeah,
generation.
you're first
born here.
generation.
Yeah, and then you would be.
Okay.
What are you?
Yeah, mum and dad born in St. Lucia.
Born in
So
St. Lucia.
first.
So I'm first.
Yeah, I'm definitely first.
I'm a bit apart.
Well, you're not really first.
Yeah, I'm kind of half in it.
Yeah, you're not even first. Like.
But if you talk
You're
about
still in
it
transit.
as a general
And he thought he'd get in the team.
He's half generation. half generation.
as a general thing, the West African, I say general, I don't want anyone to come and tell me that I've got it right or wrong, but generally, the Windrush generation, they're effectively now in their third generation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The West African generation, some of them came over as students around then, but primarily a lot more of them came over in the late 70s or in the 80s.
So you're
their
now
children,
a first,
which is why you now see the diaspora of African children and the Africanness
Pan-African
being
kids,
it's such a big thing now because the pride of it is what the children are growing up, and we're now seeing. We made the joke earlier about what is a better jollof rice. Can you imagine that back in the 80s or when we were in school?
we don't
weren't
eat
even
jollof
talking
rice.
about jollof rice then.
Yeah.
Don't eat that.
So you know what I mean?
My point was partly as well about some of the languages is obviously being used. Like a lot of the language that you lot have got now, you lot pass it on to your next generation. Now then you think to yourself, your kid, for example, all right, how much of the language would he be taking up? But and then how much? And then if you're going to look on to the next one, how much language would they be taking up? Because it starts to get washed away.
You know, I have to make a point. It's amazing how you said you lot. Because really and truly, you fall into the same thing.
Yeah.
Jamaican patois is a language. So is it being passed down to you?
No, I agree. Yeah.
So
Pass down.
I mean, yeah, no. But
he's offended.
You know, I mean, yeah.
Rain's offended. What?
You know what I mean?
You don't
you only go home.
No pieces and pieces.
No bomb clock in your yard.
Nah, bro. Let's be real.
Jamaicans always say bomber clock.
You know, they love that, innit?
Oh goodness me.
What, you mean bomb clockness, or it's not said in your yard? Yeah.
Maybe. But you was making the point about the languages.
So
not
the languages,
passing down.
they like it's things. It gets washed away, type of things. Like all of a sudden, when you come, you're here long enough, it then becomes a part of like anything else. It goes.
So you lose your identity.
Yeah. In
And
essence.
should you not then be gaining the British identity and then? So I say,
And
I'm
that's
saying
what they would
when I
do.
say you,
And
as in
yeah,
children,
yeah, they would-
and
that's what they
affiliate
do.
into the British flag.
But
then?
they do get British identity.
But do they affiliate to the British flag
No,
though?
they what's happened is and I'm just talking about Caribbean people. We found a path and forged our own Britishness, the Black Britishness.
I was about to say that.
We forged our
Yes.
own path,
Well said, bro.
and then when the and I hate generalizing, but when the Africans came, as you said, in 70s, I mean late 60s, mainly
Yeah.
70s, mainly 80s. But like I remember being in school and having
Left-hand drive.
no. I remember being in school and loads, like every other week there was a new kid that came in. I was an African kid. Why is his face so shiny? You know, them kind of things. It was like nonsense like that. But that was all part of, as you say, that same the migration coming in. And at that point, depending on your area, it was like, right, I just need to find other black people. It don't matter what
Race,
heritage you're from, because everyone else black was Jamaican, so cool. I'm just Jamaican like I'm just Jamaican like
that
the
was
rest
a thing.
of,
That
like,
was
I'm just
definitely a
Jamaican
thing.
like the rest of you. And then as I got older, it was actually I'm not Jamaican. Do you know what I mean? As much as I'm Mr. Dancehall, I used to wear my chinos and Kalkani jacket and all sorts, click suit and all of that. But when as time got on, it was like, well, no, I'm actually going to celebrate my small little island. There's only 100,000 of us, so celebrate it. Do you get what I mean? And
You
what I'm
felt
talking about
secure
in
to be able to do it then?
in society, Black Britishness then started to carve its way through, and it was just being influenced. And as it's been influenced, it just slowly has just
ingrained.
Yeah, just kind of
And it was
like
hard
if it
to
was
get rid
this
of.
kind of raw.
It's like its own little stream now.
Yeah, if it was a raw entity, it just kind of smoothed out, rough. Do you know what I mean? The lines and whatever else. And what I'm very proud of, if you can say this, as a small community that's 4% of the population. When you think about music, you think about dress sense, you think about attitude, you think about abilities, you think about sport, you think about
Food.
food, you think about language. Do you know what I mean? And you think about all of these, you put all of these things together and you're like, rah, I remember when it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, listen, you don't even want to be seen. Just be quiet, sit in the corner of the room, don't bring no attention, don't shame me up. Do you get what I mean? So now we're here at this point, is where do you take it further? However, in taking it further, and you talk about the Black Britishness and whatever else, controversially, where do mixed race people sit? Do you know what I mean?
That's a whole podcast in itself.
Where do they sit? And it's easy to be able to say, oh yeah, of course they're black, or of course they're not black, but they're not. They're
It falls
half,
under the point of rain instead.
It's
but they're
funny.
half and half. Depending on how they grew up with their parents
Their household.
or parent, what the household looks like, normally is the affiliation to what direction they go. In the Black Britishness, so now that's multi-layered because I then think to myself, as soon as you got a hue of melanin, you're black. It doesn't matter.
We accept you.
Do you know what I mean? You have to be accepted. And then you meet some people and you're like, you really ain't black, innit? You really got no culture at all. Do you know what I mean? You're literally bangers and mashing fish and chips. Do you get what I mean? So it's now saying, well, now it's our duty as the adults, do you know what I mean? Not the senior citizens, the adults, the working populous adults, not the children. It's now our duty to rekindle all of the lost culture that we didn't necessarily pick up. Go back and learn it and bring it and show your children. Because as Buddy said, maybe in the next 5 generations, there's only going to be brown people left.
And do you know what? It's funny after what you said, like, again, about teaching our generations, it's why it's so important. I only realised this when I was working one time, and I realised how bad, I think it's been mentioned before, the Americans are on knowing their history. Like, if you ask a lot of Americans where they're from, they will tell you they're from America. And it's sad because it's like, well, your history, like, where are you from? Are you Caribbean? Are you African? What's your background? They're like, America. That's as far as they know.
Why
it's not that's as far as they know. That's what they identify themselves as.
No, but
so
why?
No, it's not. It's not how they identify. It's as far as they know.
But why?
No.
Because and I was about to say because they haven't been taught that. So if I don't tell my son that dad's mum or my dad's mum and dad are from Jamaica, he wouldn't know that because obviously my dad's from England, or born in England. One second, Rayman. Like my dad's born in England. I'm born in England. So then afterwards they say, oh, so where's? Because he would ask me, where's Grandad from? He's from England. Where's Grandad's dad from? Oh, I think he's from Jamaica. So that's how he would learn it. And the same with my mum. It's like, well, obviously my mum's born in Jamaica, so it's easy for me to say, oh, your grandma's born in Jamaica. But if he starts to lose that and it starts to become a case of, where's his mum from? His mum's born in England. And then after he has kids, and where they born from, all of you lot are born in England. So eventually, if you don't know your heritage, then you now have to say, well, where are you from? Well, I'm from England. Where else am I from?
But you also have to remember, there's a large percentage and population that are happy and clean. I was born in the UK. I am British. It doesn't matter where my grandparents are from, where my parents are from. I am British. And that's something that they believe in. Remember, at the moment, we're going through this kind of transformation globally, where people identify and that becomes their reality in whatever, aspect, you want to look at it. So if I was born in the Caribbean, however, my kids were born here, and they said to me, good for you, you may be from the islands, I'm British. I was born here. I don't know about that life you lived back there. I don't speak the language that you spoke back there. Yeah, on Saturdays you give me some jerk chicken, but this is what I know. Yeah, they don't give me that at school. This is not what they teach me at school. At school they teach us St. George's Day. They teach us, the Queen's birthday, the King's birthday. So it's really about what you're exposed to. Now, one of the points that for me today will be the like one of those tick points is, what are we doing to ensure that stream that Citrus is talking about is widened every year? It carries on. So Rain mentioned in the fact that in your household, teaching them things about their culture, which is in effect your culture and your parents' culture, is paramount. And this is why we have a lot of kids who are, for what Citrus was saying about their mixed race, and they don't know they have no identity.
That's because
as time goes by, if you look at the statistics in regards to people who are happy to see the flag, and there was a survey done, and it was just general facts, 18 to 24, Brits, 100 people was asked, are they in favour of the flag? Are they not in favour? 18 to 24, 38% were in favour, 44% not in favour. And then it goes down, and the older they get, I'm not going to go for every single one of them, but the older they get, they are more in favour. So 50 to 64, 64% of them are in favour. So it shows you that as time goes on, the melting pot of the UK is now dissolving.
I think it's a bit of an unfair judgment, only because of the fact that your opinions change. Like, I could sit there and say to you, when I was younger, I'm English. Why are you trying to call me Jamaican? I'm English. As time went on, I realised myself, hold on a second, I'm Jamaican.
Because you're exposed to that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. It's about understanding. So something when you said about Rain's upbringing, and you said about him,
the household,
right? And it's like, what his dad did was brilliant, like out of this world brilliant, all right? And it's like, all right, that's really good, but is every household doing that to every one of the kids? Because they're not. And then are we now doing it to our kids? Because as much as Rain said what he said, and I don't know if you have or you haven't, so I'm just generalising here, all right? But it's like, as much as he said that, is he now doing that to his child? Like saying, look, what's the national anthem of Jamaica? Does he now know it? Do you know what I mean?
Then ask him. Ask him.
No, but does he?
National anthem of Jamaica? No, I wouldn't do that. But does he know what the colours on the flag stand for? Yes. Is he proud to have Jamaican heritage. I'm not going to force upon him Jamaican. What I will force upon him is the knowledge. I take him to Jamaica. So he's 11. He's been there 3 times. Like, he understands what the country's about. He knows what downtown Kingston looks like. He knows what the bush looks like. Like, could he survive? No.
However, Rain, I think if you're going to go by your dad's voice, you've done him a disservice. Because your dad's ambition, as you said, was to make you the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Now, if your son doesn't necessarily know all things Jamaican, are you now failing him as the next, well, not the next, but a Jamaican Prime Minister? If you get the point. And that underpins the point that Sirelli made to say it's just the pot is just melting. It's slowly melting. It's slowly just going to merge.
Just dilute.
It's just going to dilute.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I don't know your answer, and I don't know if you know your answer. In my head, I think to myself, I just want my children to understand this is where you come from, this is where you're living, this is where granny's from, this is where granddad's from, this is where great granny's from, this is where great granddad's from. Do you know what I mean? And then you understand. Oh, so and for me, it was an identity thing. I spoke about this about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Like, my features doesn't fit my colour. Do you know what I mean? I when I was young, I hated it. Like, I really, even now, I've got sinus problems because I can't breathe properly. But my features didn't fit my colour. So people are like, well, where are your parents from? Oh, they're St. Lucian. Okay. After that bit, after that bit, no, but after that bit, where are they from? So I'm saying to my mum, so where are you from? Because my mum's quite fair. My dad looks like he's Eritrean. You know what I mean? Fits in with like the Arab man. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
Cousin.
Like, I don't know. I'm not sure, and I was really trying to work it out, and I struggled with it for so long because I weren't taught it. So then I had to go back and find out, and then it made sense. So now with my children, I'm like, look, this is what you need to know. This is the information. Like, they all have flags from my island, at least. Do you know what I mean? And their mother's island. Do you know what I mean? Or country, I should say. So they all have that. So they all have understanding, because I think that part's important. The level above that, where I'm saying Rain about making the next Prime Minister, I don't even know if that's in the field of vision.
But
sorry, because the question I wanted to ask was joint thinking in it. The question I wanted to ask was, I get what we're saying about the melting pot, shall I say? At what point though do we say they're not Black British and they're just British? Because we want to talk about
when that 4% becomes 50%.
But if it never becomes 50%, why should we be looking at it as the number of people here to say that is what makes them different? Because ultimately, the Union Jack is meant to be uniting. If we're going with the whole thing of uniting the flag, or uniting the nation, shall I say, we're talking about everyone being under that flag, who is associated to be British, who makes that claim to be British, who says, this is me.
But you don't have to be the same.
But we still differentiate, and we're expecting our children and children's children to still differentiate, to grow that pathway you were saying of being Black British. But at what point are we going to expect them to be just British?
I like that.
Only at the point when society doesn't see colour.
Yeah,
and
I like that
because unfortunately,
it's never going to happen.
This is where we're living. This is why I said to you, in maybe 5 generations down, you'd only have brown people.
I like both of those statements. I'm not even going to lie. I like what you said, because I do feel, when are we now? And it's true. I hate the form. Where are you from? And it said there's British and then there's Black British. What's the difference?
You know what annoys me on the form? It then says
other,
Black other.
Yeah.
And then I go to ticket, and then it says
like,
Black Caribbean. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
And then it says Black African.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay. And then underneath it just says Black. I'm just like, I'm just going to tick everything, just all of them.
It doesn't make sense.
The moment
they stop doing that is one thing. And then what Citra said is brilliant as well. And I hope it's framed. It's like at the end of the day, when they stop seeing colour.
But will that ever happen? Will forget about Britain? Will the world ever stop seeing colour?
No,
I don't want them to though. I know it. I want to see the world button. No, but serious.
Ross.
No,
what was that thing they talk about? That God's whatever?
The rapture.
It's broken, bro.
On a serious note, I like being different. I like the fact that there is a Black British stream running parallel. I'm okay with it because the moment that changes and we're all just British, then all of a sudden your Black heritage, your Black thing gets dismissed and it gets dissolved into the midst of it. And I don't want that to happen. So my son was born here. He's already been to St. Lucia. My 2 eldest kids, I've taken them to St. Lucia. I said, listen, this is where daddy was born. This is where daddy went to school. This is where daddy bust his head. I want him to understand we speak a foreign language. The reason why we speak this foreign language is because the island was invaded by the French and the British. The reason why we ended up in the UK is because we were promised work. We were promised, so the men and the women left the island, went there to look for work. Unfortunately, they went there in their prime. So therefore, they started working, they started, life happened. They had kids there and it became their home. But this is where you came from. And myself and Citrus went to Ghana not too long ago. And when you go there and you sit back and you take a moment to look at how they look at their heritage and how far back they can go, one of the things that amazed me is that Ghana has tribes and every tribe speaks their own language, although they're still in the same country. So you can be in the capital and hear a plethora of different languages between people that all look the same. They've still managed to keep that heritage. And that is something that, for me, I find amazing. It's fascinating that, Rain's from North London, so he speaks whatever language they speak in North London. Bud's from East, they speak whatever, and all of you are still living. And it's not like it's, hundreds and hundreds of miles away. This is in very close proximity. So, as I said at the start, let it burn. I am happy to be different. I'm comfortable with that.
I mean, I would want to be one. Like, out of many, there is one.
The let it burn thing, I'm definitely not down for that. Because black women are still 2.5 times more likely to die in childbirth.
Yep.
If you say I'm happy to keep it that way, then we're just accepting nonsense. So you have to stay individual. You have to stay highlighted. You have to be able to say yes on one side. Let's level the playing field. But on the other side, I'm still me. I'm still the individual. So it kind of sits on.
So you need our people to be in better places so that they themselves can make sure that people of like color, like position are treated or given that fair opportunity. You know when they say about if the doors are not being let open for you, you make your own door. So you
need people to crack the ceiling and build a hatch and then let down the ladder to allow that the next generation.
And that's my let it burn.
To access. However, if you go to somewhere like Scunthorpe and do the eMpTy podcast there, bro. Huh? All right.
The thing is, there was something Buddy said earlier that, and you sort of touched on it as well, where you was talking about the generations, and I don't know, we keep mentioning Rain, but Rain being able to say his history, his heritage, and and I think Buddy was talking about it in America and why they say that they're Black American. But the reason why they don't know their heritage is because of slavery. Remember, a lot of them descendants of slavery, so they don't have that history to be able to go back. So when you look at the situations like Kim saying when he's talking about in Ghana, and you could even go back as far as to say all of our countries, realistically, we would be able to trace back at least 4 or 5 generations, if not further than that. If your great grandparents are still there or your grandparents are still there, you can trace their history and then their history and then their history. You should still be able to do that. It will be difficult for people in our future, let's say about 5-6 generations, when the melted pot has melted and you have different countries, which we talk about people being from, Tongo was talking about Guyana and Jamaica. Yeah, it's going to be a much more mixed up melting pot, and then places will get lost in the melting pot and it will become Black British. But at what point are they just going to be British? And that's my concern. For those that would want to be British and want to fly that flag and say, this is my flag, I don't think it's ever going to get to the point where they will be able to do that. Personally, that's just my thing. I think they're just going to be Black British or Black wherever they're from.
I think what you just said, there will come a point where we are, like the only time it comes to that point is when I suppose, when like Citrus said, when we stop seeing colour. However, there is going to come a point where our kids are going to be British. It's, I mean, as much as Rain wants to teach his son the national anthem and everything Jamaican, they're going to be British, because it's not only so long that it's going to keep on going, because there'll come a time where our children are going to say, well, back home is here. Back home is going from Tottenham to Leighton. And
they won't be wrong.
But they won't be wrong. But then that'll be the same as the Americans then. Because what it is, the reason why America doesn't, slavery is a thing, but they can't trace their lineage back past through slavery. It almost stops at slavery. Yeah. Or starts. Depends on how you look at it. So you're, and you know what, maybe there is a point, maybe there's a thing of, we need to start with our kids to keep the Nigerian, the St. Lucian, the Jamaican, is be teaching them, right, you've got to go back to that country to be successful. Maybe that's the way to deal with it.
Well, it's what you said and what your dad did, and that's why I rate it so high, to be fair. It's keep on teaching, because if you now teach your one, and then your one now teaches his one, and it will keep it on to say, when it gets to, like, when I'm saying kids, it's now not going to be a case, he's like, well, I'm Jamaican. Like, my granddad's granddad was, you know what I mean? He knows. But whereas, like I said, that doesn't happen in every household.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not going to happen in every household. As much as we're doing this podcast now and we're trying to put it out there, not every household is going to be able to turn and say, you know what, I've told my kids, and they've told their kids, and they've told their kids where we're originally from. Because I guarantee you, we're going to be, if we all live in this living in England now, and we're successful in whatever we're doing, we're going to have kids, and then afterwards they're going to have kids, and they're going to be successful in England, and they're going to be, they're not moving out of England to say, I'm living going back home. They're not going to. This is their home.
So one of the points is, it's very interesting that you mentioned St. Lucia, Guyana, Jamaica, etc. But we should be talking about Ghana. We should be talking about the Gold Coast. Do you know what I mean? The Cape Coast. We should be talking about Nigeria. We should be talking about Togo. We should be talking about Benin. We should be talking about Cote d'Ivoire.
Because that's probably our original heritage.
Because that's the original heritage.
Not probably.
But, well, I'm with probably, to be fair.
You have to be fair with that.
But, so when you say that, if you then take what's happened over the last 400 years and then place it over the next 400 years, you can't turn around and say that all of these other places are going to be so far diluted that they're just forgotten. And it's right, you're mixed race, I'm mixed race, he's mixed race, he's mixed race, he's mixed race. Everyone's mixed race, because now the races have integrated so much. So we're all, this is what I'm saying, we're all brown. Do you get what I mean?
And that's why I got it when you said it.
And at that point, are you Jamaican? Well, my great granddad's cousin's Jamaican, so I must be. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm 20% Jamaican.
So yeah, so and at this point, at that point, when you get to that position, it's when, unfortunately, actual Jamaicans or Nigerians or Ghanaians come over, and then I turn around and say, yo, my great granddad's Jamaican. Nah, you're English. Do you get what I mean? It's going to be exactly the same thing.
And to put meat on the bone, how many of us here, our kids have a passport from the country that we associate with? Do you even have a Jamaican passport?
No. I never got a passport from any of my heritage countries.
I do.
I've got a Nigerian passport and a British passport.
Rain, you're not included in this conversation.
My son doesn't know. And I've never thought about it, as you can, what's the point? But yeah.
But the symbol of it, it is, do you see what I mean? You say, what's the point? But saying to him, here you go, there's your Jamaican passport, that puts in his mind,
I'm a Jamaican.
I'm a Jamaican.
Yeah. I think there's other things that cost a lot less money and hassle. It's hassle to get a Jamaican passport. Maybe for the same as Nigerian.
Nigeria is
difficult.
Is ridiculously difficult.
Yes, and the thing. Something else. When something else happens, the rules will relax, and then we can all go and then apply, and then see what
very soon.
In saying that, the Jamaica system has been relaxed. I think the new not the new prime minister, the old prime minister that's been sworn in again for a second term, he's made it easier for English people who are in England who have Jamaican heritage to get passports for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it will happen. It will happen to all the other countries, and when that time happens, just get it. The thing is that it's going to cost 150 or 100 or whatever pounds to do it.
But what I will say for my St. Lucian friends in the room is that there is now I don't know if it's an economic deal that was done between St. Lucia and Nigeria, but there was something done fairly recently where the Nigerian president was in St. Lucia and they're building links and ties. I think it's similar to the
Barbados
Ghana.
and Ghana.
Yeah, and the year of eternity for Ghana. So I'm sure that's going to be something we touch on to. But I know we're coming close to the end of this podcast. Just to remind everybody, the next podcast we'll be doing in 7 days' time, which is different for us, you know, because we was away for so long. We're going to hit you with a double dose. This next podcast we'll be doing will be on Black History Month. Make sure you're locked in. We're going to be on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you're following us, the eMpTy Podcast. Everything is live on there. It's all bubbling up right now. You'll have to go on the socials to see what's going on. There's a lot going on right now. But I'm going to go around the room and just to give your final thoughts on, I would just say, British, flag, black, whatever you want to close off with. I'll start off with Buddy.
I mean, it's a tough one. You said that. You didn't give me a question. You give me
I'm giving you whatever
whatever I want to do.
Free
Open
reign.
forum, yeah?
Open
Mad.
forum.
Open forum.
Open forum.
Like I said, it's about what we teach our kids in the future. And without teaching our kids in the future anything about their heritage, they won't know nothing about what their heritage was or what their past was. We'll all become eventually just one. And in some senses, what we spoke about earlier on is that the future where we actually become a part where we're all British, we're just all British, or we're all American, or we're all whatever the country is that you live in. Is that the future? Is that what we want?
Tongo.
This conversation has made me think and realise that, strangely, I lived with my mum my whole life. And obviously she's the Guyanese side of my heritage. However, even in her household, I would say I've probably more been raised Jamaican heritage than Guyanese. I've also been to Jamaica a few times. My dad made a point of taking me there. I know much more about Jamaica than I do about Guyana. My mum's taught me probably that she's from Georgetown. That's probably about it. Which most Guyanese people, when you speak to them, that's where they say they're from. It's mad. Yeah. So it's just making me think, I need to make a point that I learn about that side of my heritage more. And I would say to anyone else that's got mixed heritage, that you should make a point to do that. And if you have children, pass the knowledge that you find onto them.
Okay, so being black in this British land, and the Union Jack, there's a couple of things. I think, so something we did, we haven't spoken about this on the podcast, so I apologise for putting it in a roundup, but we did our ancestry DNA. And with the results, a high percentage of my lineage came from Ghana. Hence why Sirelli and I went to Ghana and went to have a look and see what was going on there, see the atrocities that took place during slavery and how black people were treated, and there's some quite daunting. There were some daunting practices that took place, like really, really daunting. And what was more interesting about these daunting practices, I just felt to myself that when I was looking at these spaces and these castles where slaves were processed, that our great, great, great grandparents walked through this hatch that took them to the new land, which was in the Americas or in the Caribbean. And standing there thinking, they've walked through this 400, 500, 600 years ago, 300 to 500 years ago, and I'm now returning back, looking at the same door or doorway that they went through, and it's to say, well, you know what, I want to be more in touch with what's going on in all of Africa, not necessarily just Ghana, because that was the processing center, as I said. But if any of us get a chance, any of you get a chance or the opportunity to, just take the trip. Get out there, take the trip. Being black and being British in Ghana, your whole mindset will explode.
Wow. Rayman.
I don't really have nothing to close on, really. I just think, like, going back to the thing of pride or whatever it was about the English flag, I don't have an affinity for it. I think the UK is heading for a dangerous place, or into a dangerous place. I'm not saying it's going to head into a race war, but it may go back a few years to where people were being chased down the streets and whatnot, if people are not sensible. Nothing wrong with celebrating where you're from. So people that were on the march or have the flag outside their house, like, do your thing. But when you are linking it to extreme right-wing rhetoric, fascism, racism, that's when there's a major problem.
Sirelli.
Today was really intense, the podcast. As much as we had jovial moments, I would urge everyone to hear and take heed on it. You are Black British, whatever that means to you is down to you. As Citra said, I believe there is a stream that most Black British identify with, and we swim in this stream. Don't ever forget where you came from. As Citra said, we did a trip to Ghana and it was life-changing for me. It opened my eyes to so many things. Yes, I was aware of it. Yes, I read books about it. Yes, I watched TV programs about it. I went to school in the Caribbean. Yes, I knew about it. But to actually see it, smell it, and touch it, it's life-changing. What the Union Jack means to me and my household is it's the house we live in. Not necessarily our home, but it's our house we live in. And we respect it, we appreciate it, but home means something different to everyone.
Definitely interesting points from everyone around the room. I think my only take with the Union Jack, really and truthfully, I do still always attribute it to colonialism, unfortunately. I think there's a lot of connotations to the flag, but I think ultimately, and I side with Sirelli with this when I say people shouldn't feel that they can't be proud of where they're from, whether it's a Union Jack, whether it's the flag of St. George, whether it's a Jamaican flag, Nigerian flag, St. Lucian flag, Guyanese flag, whatever your flag you're proud of, you should be able to say, I'm proud to support that flag. But this has been the eMpTy podcast. And if the
That's a new
if the
ending.
glass ain't half full,
It's
empty.
sorry,
It's choking.
Silly me.
Yeah.